Let's go Dolphins! Could a subtle change on the sideline be the hidden reason behind the Dolphins' most complete performance in nearly a year? What if this decision, almost unnoticed by the national media, is actually the key to unlocking this offense's full potential? The mood in Miami has just shifted, and fans are starting to feel it. But not everything is as perfect as it seems. There's tension, questions about leadership, and yes, we need to talk about Chris Greer again. This isn't just another win. This could be the moment everything starts to change or fall apart. So, before we dive in, be sure to like this if you bleed orange and water. And if you're a true fan, especially someone who's followed this team through thick and thin for over 20 years, leave a comment right now saying, "Go Dolphins!" My heart bleeds orange and water. You'll want to stay tuned for this one. Now, let's dive in. This past Sunday might have been the cleanest, most complete performance the Dolphins have delivered since the 30-0 dismantling of the Jets back in December of 2023. And that's not just hype. Offense, on point. Defense, dominant. Special teams, sharp. It was pure complimentary football, something that's been painfully absent for most of the year. But here's where it gets interesting. One small adjustment might have made a massive difference. Frank Smith, the offensive coordinator, moved from the booth to the sideline. That's it, a shift in position. And suddenly, communication improved. The pre-snap chaos we've been dealing with all year? Nearly non-existent. No illegal shifts, no delay of games, barely any false starts. The offense looked composed and confident, and it felt like everyone actually knew where to be and what to do. Frank Smith isn't the play caller. Mike Mcdaniel still handles that. But Smith is a central figure in developing the weekly game plan. And according to multiple voices inside the locker room, having him on the sideline changed the dynamic entirely. Tua Tagovailoa openly praised it, saying he felt more in sync with Smith on the field. Devin Achane took it even further. He said he doesn't want to see Frank Smith back in the booth for the rest of the year. That's how big the impact was. And let's talk about what that impact looked like in execution. The Dolphins ran the ball 37 times. That's not a typo. 37 designed runs to just 29 dropbacks, an absolutely unheard of balance for a team that's lean pass heavy since McDaniel took over. It wasn't just a shift in play calling, it was an identity check. And it worked. Devin Achane had 18 carries, Ollie Gordon had 10, and Jalen Wright pitched in with 9. Gordon, by the way, looked like the exact short yardage weapon Miami has been craving. Drafted in the 6th round to bring that physical, downhill punch, he showed up in the clutch multiple times, converting 3rd and shorts and 4th and ones like a veteran. He averaged 4.6 yards per carry, the highest among the backs, and made his presence known. And the benefits of the ground game didn't stop there. Jalen Waddle's 43-yard touchdown? Pure play-action magic. Tua faked the handoff, the safeties bit hard, linebackers stepped up, and Waddle blew by everyone for the score. That moment was a direct product of Miami finally committing to the run. We've been screaming about it for years. Commit to the run, and this offense opens up in ways that make defensive coordinators lose sleep. Tua, to his credit, looked like a different quarterback this week. Just 7 days ago, we were all dragging him for one of the worst performances of his career against Cleveland. Now, he throws for 4 touchdowns, puts up a QB rating of 138.6, and spreads the ball around like a point guard. No receiver had more than 5 catches. Jalen Waddle had 5, Achane had 5, Malik Washington added 4. Tanner Conner, Cedric Wilson, even fullback Alec Ingold, all got touches. That's how you know Tua was seeing the field clearly, making the right reads, taking what the defense gave him. And he did all this while dealing with an eye injury that looked like it might have been a sty or allergic reaction. Whatever it was, he joked about it post-game, but it didn't affect his vision on the field one bit. Defensively, this game was another level. Bijan Robinson came in averaging 150 scrimmage yards a game. He left with 48. Let that sink in. For the 5th straight game, Miami didn't allow a first-quarter touchdown. They started fast, controlled the line of scrimmage, and absolutely smothered Atlanta's offense. Rasul Douglas had arguably his best game yet in a Dolphins uniform. Coverage was tight, tackles were sharp, and Atlanta had no answers. But I want to keep it real with you. Yes, this was a dominant defensive outing, but we also need to consider the context. Miami's only 2 wins this year have come against backup-level quarterbacks, Justin Fields with the Jets and Kirk Cousins' replacement with the Falcons. So while the defense has looked better the last 2 weeks, let's not start planning a parade just yet. They've got to prove it against elite competition. If Sunday was a spark, then Thursday night against the Ravens needs to be a wildfire. Because that's the true test. Lamar Jackson is back, and Baltimore's not just good, they're dangerous, motivated, and chasing the AFC North crown. And here's the raw truth. If the Dolphins go into that game and fold, then everything we saw in Atlanta was nothing more than a flash in the pan. That's the uncomfortable reality Dolphins fans are facing right now. It's not just about playing hard, it's about doing it again and again and again. This team has been the definition of inconsistent all year long. One week, we're seeing dominant, disciplined football. The next, sloppy, confused, mentally checked out performances. That's where coaching and leadership come in. And that's exactly why so many fans, including myself, are still skeptical about Mike McDaniel and his long-term viability in this franchise. Sure, he pulled the right strings this week, but the question remains, can he string together 3 straight wins? Because until he proves he can beat good teams on a consistent basis, we can't pretend that anything has truly changed. And let's talk about that stretch ahead, because it's brutal. After the Ravens, it's the Bills, then the Commanders in Madrid. That's 3 physical teams, 3 different play styles, and 3 chances for this Dolphins squad to show the football world they're more than just a 2-win team with a highlight reel. The key isn't just performance, it's resilience. And that's something we haven't seen enough of from this group. The defense needs to prove that this past Sunday wasn't a fluke, that Rasul Douglas can lock up WR1S weekly, that the front 7 can stop the run against real rushing offenses, not just when they're up 2 scores early. That the communication issues that have plagued this team, broken coverages, missed assignments, are behind them. And yes, that includes defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver, who's still fighting to prove he can get this unit to play with consistency across all 4 quarters. On the offensive side, we need to see Tua operate with the same confidence, precision, and decisiveness he showed against Atlanta, but under pressure. Baltimore isn't going to give him those same clean pockets. Their blitzes are more complex. Their secondary is more athletic. Their defensive coordinator is aggressive and unpredictable. The Falcons' defense was top 5 statistically, yes, but the Ravens bring a whole different level of scheme and execution. And here's the thing, if Miami can somehow beat Baltimore on Thursday night, everything changes. That's the kind of win that flips narratives. That's the kind of win that silences critics. That's the kind of win that gives this locker room belief. Because right now, this team is still trying to find an identity. Are they a finesse team that folds when the pressure's on? Or are they starting to become a physically and mentally tough football team that can adapt, take punches, and fire back? Jalen Waddle, Cedric Wilson, Malik Washington, Devin Achane, those are the names that can tilt a game. But the key is usage. Frank Smith's presence on the sideline gave this offense clarity and balance. The question is whether that's sustainable. Can Mike McDaniel let go of enough ego to keep Frank there, keep that rhythm going, and continue building off that structure? Or will we see a regression back to disorganization and wasted drives? Let's not forget, Chris Greer is still lurking in the background. And while we can give props where they're due, the damage of his personnel decisions is still being felt. This roster, while talented on paper, has depth issues, inconsistent production from key draft picks, and a very real problem with accountability at the top. And yet, he continues to skate by because of flashy moments that keep the illusion of progress alive. This is exactly why fans are so frustrated, because there's a sense that the organization is content with mediocrity as long as it comes with a few explosive plays. What's needed now is proof of growth, not in one-off games, not in post-game pressers filled with quirky quotes and player-friendly vibes. Real growth, a 3-game win streak, a road win against an AFC contender, back-to-back performances with strong fundamentals and disciplined execution. That's the bar, nothing less. And let's not kid ourselves, anything short of 10-7 and a playoff berth is a failure. That means 8 wins from the final 9 games. That's the hole this team has dug for itself. That's the price of all those early season collapses. And that's the burden that Mike McDaniel and his staff now have to carry. So far,